I can't believe I'm saying this, but twins are the strongest killer in Dead by Daylight history, as strong if not stronger than even Nurse and Blight. This PTB is insane, and not in the good way. The twins rework is just way too strong, to put it simply. Twins were always a strong killer, but held back severely by slow gameplay having to go get down survivors, or Dead Hard just completely shutting down Victor. But guess what happens when you remove that aspect and make Victor entirely chase oriented? So for those of you who don't know how twins played before, because, well, there was only about 3 people in the entire world who actually plays twins regularly, twins worked that when you hit a healthy survivor, Victor would latch onto them for an extremely long time. During that time, they'd become a radar that would show other survivors that were near that latched on survivor, and they were broken and incapacitated. Basically, when Victor was latched onto someone, until he was removed, this survivor wasn't doing anything for the match. However, during this time, you couldn't recall him for a long time. So during that whole time, your power was quite literally held hostage. However, if you hit an injured survivor, they would just go down and you would become vulnerable to being kicked. Well, guess what they did? In the new rework, when you pounce on someone and hit them, they become injured, but Victor doesn't latch onto them anymore, meaning you get to keep going. Along with that is when you do land a successful hit, you become invincible for a few seconds, meaning that the old strategy of Dead Hard Victor to punt him and shut him down doesn't even work anymore. And when I say invincible, I mean invincible to even pallet stuns. Yeah, they really went that overboard with it. Then when you do hit an injured survivor, now Victor will down them and latch onto them when they're downed for 10 seconds. During that time, she gets 10% haste, like oh my god. This is one of those rare instances, however, where I feel like haste is warranted because having to run cross map to go pick up a survivor after downing them felt like shit. And they have actually somewhat thought this out, so that while you have that 10% haste for free and use it in chase and you hit someone, it goes away, meaning that you can't just have used this 10% haste to go chase after everyone and down them while, you know, being 125% movement speed. I like this. I do, however, have one issue with this mechanic, and that's that you don't really get to see their aura for more than a few seconds after you down them with Victor. So if you forget or you know they're in some confusing part of the map, you just, okay, I don't know where they are anymore. That, and you don't get killer instinct anymore while Victor's latched onto them on the ground. However, at this point, I don't really think they need that killer instinct anymore. There's only one real counter to twins now, which I'll get to later. Throughout all this, they only got one nerf, and that was to make it so that Victor takes longer to recharge when he gets punted. So I guess they compensated for all these insane buffs that they got. So they overall made every bad and annoying aspect of twins go away, which should be a good thing, right? Right? Well, in actuality, they basically removed the only limiter to twins, and that was their slow and clunky gameplay. They have unleashed a true monster, a true evil onto the lands by making Victor go from a damage spreading killer to basically Legion and Nurse fused into one being. This is why I say, and truly mean it when I say, Twins is at minimum top 3 killers of all time, along with released Legion and even 5 blink Nurse. There's nothing you can do against this Victor. With new Victor, you at minimum move at the speed Legion does while in Feral Frenzy, paired with the ability to jump over pallets and windows like Nurse. Paired with, again, no counter on hit because you're invincible, meaning that Victor counters Dead Hard. The first Dead Hard counter in 8 years is the twins. They also made it so you could recover out of hit really quickly, which is a common issue I've seen with behavior more recently, like with Chucky and Alien having very quick recovery times that then get fixed a week or 2 later. This all culminates in a killer who is extremely fast, can jump over any obstacle, becomes invincible if you land a hit, recovers super quickly, then downs you and gets super haste to pick you up. There really is no counter to Victor now, except for one thing, and that's windows. Yes, Victor is still plagued by this issue of not being able to vault, so in some locations if there's a good window that may be your only option to avoid Victor, and this just sucks. Some maps don't have a lot of windows at all that are easy to access, so making it so that the only way to effectively dodge him is by running somewhere with a decent window is very horrible design. Also is the fact that twins have extremely strong add-ons, more speed, broken on hit, faster charge, drop items, etc, etc. Twins has an extremely overtuned kit now, and it cannot make it to the live servers. This reminds me of the Trickster's rework situation where he was extremely overpowered and could get main event in like 3 hits. It was basically unstoppable until they nerfed him a few times and brought him into a decent spot, but he's still Trickster. He's still Trickster. I really do wonder what they could even do to fix Victor. On one hand, I like the whole not punished on successful hit thing, but I feel like he recovers from it way too quickly and can catch up way too quickly. I like that you can deploy Victor faster and wake up faster because those were just horrible, clunky, slow parts of their kit that no one liked. Like, It always felt so annoying to finally get a hit on someone and then, spend 2 seconds waking up his Charlotte to slowly start walking across the map. I like these changes. I like this part of the rework. They fixed all the main reasons why nobody played them. Of course, the main reason why nobody played them was because of them having to cross map to pick up a survivor every time. And in the current meta with Buckle Up and a bunch of endurance perks, it just made it feel really annoying. I like the idea of most of this. Fix the worst part of the kit, the slow power, the clunky way to go pick up the survivor. I like all that. But then they make Victor basically unwinnable against unless you're playing on a specific part of the map with a good window that has no real way for him to play against unless he, jumps out at 2, but if he does that, then you could just kick him, so meh. What baffles me is they made some really smart calls by making it so the haste is only useful for catching up to the survivor you downed and not like Skull Merchant where you just win every 1v1 with the additional haste. I really want to like this rework. I do, but at the same time, making Victor chase oriented will make Twins top 3 in the game if nothing is done, but like, what can we do really? If you remove the invincibility on hit, then you make it so as soon as you hit someone, you get punted and lose your power, basically looping back to square one of getting punished by using your power correctly and getting stunned for 6 seconds or having your power held for 30 seconds. The only changes I can see being made are remove the buff to his pound speed because it can still stack with the sword, it doesn't need to do that, lower his base speed so it's not Feral Frenzy level, and make the cooldown on hit way longer so survivors can actually make some distance. Along with that is one change I would make is make it so that Victor's speed gradually ramps up as you're running around, because as soon as you pop him out, you're moving as fast as Feral Frenzy, but make it so that as soon as you pop him out, he starts moving at 110 and then works his way up. That way, after you get a hit, you have to work up to that speed, which will give survivors more time to actually make distance. Other than that, I feel like this is just way too insane. It feels like Regigigas, where now that the slowness of the ability is gone, we're left with a monster that can chase you at Mach 10 and down you over pallets and windows no matter what. It's just so insane. Now, I have been a Twins enjoyer for a while because Victor is fun to play, but this is way too much. Again, I love this stuff to make them feel not sluggish, but I hate the chase buffs. Also, speaking of sluggish, the penalty for moving when you deploy Victor near a hook is so bad. It is so abysmally bad that it just needs to be gone entirely. Like, look at this. I know everyone hates the whole not being able to use power near a hook thing, but if you accidentally deploy too close to a hook because I have to calculate exactly 16 meters, I can't be too close to this or the hook or else I lose my power. It's like, for 5 seconds, look in this clip, I wasn't even trying to do that. I thought it was far enough away because the game prompted me and said, hey, you can do it now, but guess what? I'm punished now for it. I got punished for this. I don't even know why. I'm running away. I'm not even facing him. I'm not even trying to tunnel or camp or anything. Yeah, I'm still hit with 5 seconds of basically getting stunned. I can't change back to Charlotte either. I'm just stuck for 5 seconds. The game stunned me. Like, I think I genuinely just have it so I can't deploy near the hook. Because then at least that point, I'm not stun locked for 5 seconds. I really can't believe that this rework took 2+ years and got delayed when it was something this simple. Compared to, Clown Rework, which made him the only killer in the game who can actively toggle between abilities, and Skull Merchant drones working entirely differently, all they did for Twins was speed them up and make it so Victor latches on when they're down. That's it. Yeah, this took years to implement. Overall though, I like the sluggish movement changes. Waking up and deploying faster, good. I like the haste on down to pick up survivors faster because those were desperately needed. These two things were desperately needed. What I don't like is the insane chase potential Victor has that makes him instantly win any chase he's in. He moves and attacks so fast that you have no ability to deal with him because he could just jump over pallets. And even if you get hit and drop the pallet on him, he's immune to pallet stuns. Just change that, make it so that he can't be immune to pallet stuns, right? So that way you can tank the hit, you can sacrifice a health state to get hit and drop a pallet. You're wasting a resource and a health state, but at least he's off your ass. That would be a good change, but he's completely invincible. He doesn't get punished by anything anymore, because realistically, Twins won't miss, unless shitty map geometry. I don't really have anything else to say other than all that, so take care of yourselves and have a damn good one. Peace.